Alright. Yeah, so just try and play like your quote-unquote like standard style, and we can go from there.
Okay.
Like, let's just play... we will play... I don't know, 10 minutes max. Like 10 minutes or so on the clock should be good. Yeah, so for this one, what I'll go ahead and do is just make a couple of notes, and we'll go over them after the game, okay?
Okay. Sounds good. I hope you can't hear my keyboard.
A little bit, but it's okay. We like the mechanical keyboards here. It's like music. It's like an instrument. So, what is like your plan right now? I don't know if you can talk and play at the same time. If not, that's fine. But do you have like a plan in mind for this game?
Yeah, my plan is to go for robotics. So I can get some observers out and can scout something out of that.
All right. So do you usually play like macro then? Like you usually sit back primarily and just try and build up a big army?
Yeah. But in PvP, I go for one base all in.
Alright, yeah. It's PvP.
Because of the cheese.
Yeah. Lowko, you should do a coaching series where you coach high-level players to be in Bronze League. I mean...
Sounds like fun.
It would be impossible. Unless they don't play for years or like... lose their eyesight or something, I don't know.
They must play blind.
Yeah. There's actually, I did some games with Fanner back in the day where we did blindfolded StarCraft 2. We actually ended up winning games while being blindfolded and having the other player guide what's going on. It was really fun. It was actually really dumb, but... You couldn't see anything, you could just hear like, he's going for this, he's going for that, try and click your base. Alrighty, so are we gonna push it a little bit, or are you mostly just gonna try and defend against what he's trying to do?
Now I'm waiting to get my Void Ray out.
Uh-huh.
So when he goes for some roaches, I'm in a pretty good spot. And yeah, when I push, I get my third base, so I'll be safe there.
Alright.
That's my plan.
Alright, cool. Yeah, so mostly sitting back waiting for him. It's fine.
Yeah. I don't know if that's good in ZVP, but...
Yeah, I feel like it's maybe a little too passive. I feel like having a bit more like I feel like well, we can talk about it in a little bit. It's a bit tricky. I feel like mostly for Zerg, it's really tough to defend like timing attacks from Protoss. So be it like either gateways and immortals or you know, something along those lines, or I feel like if you let Zerg just macro, it's really tough to obtain a victory.
Okay.
At least, like, in particular, if you go a little higher up on the ladder, you'll see that, in particular, if you're trying to push Diamond League, like, you see Protoss players or Zerg players get really good at droning up, and they will just simply start making so much stuff. They will just get so many units out that it's really hard to stop, you know? Because they recognize, hey, he's playing passive, I can just make 80 workers and just let him do whatever I want.
Yeah, I think I've played very bad because my minerals were so high in this game.
It's okay. It's different when you have someone watching and everything, right? It's different than playing by yourself. Not a big deal. All right. Here's what we can do. I feel like we he's been getting help from Drone Rush apparently. I feel like our best way to have a bit of improvement is to have a certain plan. Okay.
Okay.
So I would mean, for example, push with 2 bases or try to go for quick 3 base. I would probably say the easiest for laddering up right now would be to go for 2 base timing attacks yourself as well. So rather than like waiting for the Zerg to push, we basically want to go for a certain push like that ourselves as well. Primarily to try and prevent the Zerg from really just getting those 4 bases out and just making, you know, infinite amounts of units, because that's when Zerg is really tough to stop. So I feel like having a plan would already go a long way. So for example, that would be a 3 immortal 2 base push, or a I don't know, we could go Oracle adapt push. We could go Phoenix pushes. We could also go for a quick 3 base. Basically anything that sort of like relies on you pushing out as early as you possibly can across the map with a really big army. If that makes any sense.
Okay.
So I feel like the first improvement though, because you mentioned that you were kind of struggling against early game Zerg pressure, be it like cheese or be it like timing attacks, is to really like wall off at the front. So either that is going to be right here at your natural if you want to go for a quick expansion, or you can go ahead and wall off at the top of the ramp. I feel like it's almost like mandatory against Zerg, because otherwise they can easily overwhelm you.
Okay.
So I feel like that's the first thing. I've written that down by the way as well. So you know, we can look at that in just a little bit, but I'll send you those notes after coaching as well. So I feel like going for a wall at the front would already make it much easier. So second thing I noticed is that you make 4 adapts early game, but they don't really do anything until like the Zerg pushes, right? They don't really go out into the map to figure out what's going on. So I really liked the first probe scout. I thought the first probe scout was really good. Then afterwards, I felt like, you know, you were mostly in the blind because we didn't really know if Zerg had like any kind of third bases up, or if they had, you know, for example, no third base at all. If you don't see a third base right around the time that the adepts are out, it's like a big indication that there's going to be something aggressive coming your way. So basically what I mean with that is that if you wall at the top of the ramp, you'll be safe early game against, like, I don't know, early game Zergling pushes, for example.
Okay.
Zergling pushes. And if you scout for a third, you know if they go 2 base. So if they go for 2 bases, for Zergs, at least from their point of view, usually Zerg will try and focus on either a Roach timing attack or a Roach Zergling timing attack, something along those lines, early on into the game. So I feel like we need to know whether or not he's got a third base, and whether or not he, you know, is going to be aggressive at all in the early game. So the way you really scout that is by moving out with, like, the first adept, or, you know, leaving the probe that you send out initially a little bit longer out on the map, rather than, like, it dying, and just confirming that there's a third base up, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so I like this scout a lot. That confirms that he didn't open up super cheesy. I mean, if there were Zerglings, you would see them. But then it just sort of dies, and I feel like it's a bit wasted, right? So at this point, you got a pretty good understanding of what's going on. I think it dies, actually. Oh, no, you may have to send it home. Fair enough. So it does depend on what Zerg is going for, of course, and what kind of game they are planning to play. But if you look right now at what he's got, you can see that he had no third base up for any of this moment, I don't think. Maybe he's gotten it quite late, but usually Zerg will get it, you know, as early as they possibly can afford it. So if you definitely don't see a third right now, you know that something aggressive is coming your way, so you can try and prevent for that. All right, so what do you think of a 3 immortal 2 base timing attack?
So I'm going for 3 morals and some adepts.
Yes, pretty much.
Okay.
What we'll also try and do is go for a bit of a faster expansion. So first thing we'll do is wall at the top of the ramp. We'll make 1 pylon, 1 gateway, 1 gas geyser. And then you'll follow it up with a nexus already, and after that you get the cyber core. So it's going to be quite a bit of a faster expansion.
So 1 gate.
Yes, so we go pylon, gateway, assimilator, and then nexus, and then cyber core.
Okay.
And then cyber core, and then pylon.
I can try this.
And the basic idea of that is that you should be able to, like, get your economy out a little bit faster, while also still teching up fast enough. And but the thing is, like, this is like just one example of like a 2 base timing attack. There's like tons. There's a lot of different kind of plays. And I mean, that allowed me to really like grind up the ladder much more effectively. Alright. Ready?
Yeah.
I'll try and guide you through the build as well. I don't know like the super specifics myself either, but I can give you my my line of thought.
I don't know any builds, so...
Okay, well that's hey, that's fine. I mean, considering you made it pretty high up on the ladder already without any builds, if you start executing something a little bit more strictly, it doesn't have to be like, you know, 2 minutes and like 8 seconds. Put down pylon number 60. Like, no, it doesn't really work, but you know, something a little bit more organized, you would be able to grind up quite easily, actually. That's really good. Basically, just leave one little gap. Yes. Now I make the assimilator. And next up, we'll go ahead and put down the Nexus. So just continue building probes. And as soon as we got 400 minerals, that's when we build a Nexus.
Okay.
Okay, so you can send a probe down to the low ground right about right now. Okay, then at the top of the ramp, you can put down the cybercore, and then at the front, down below, that's where you put down the pylon again. So you can put a cybercore right here, and then at the low ground, once again, a... Whoa, is that outside? I guess so, anyway. Can you hear that?
Yeah, I can hear that.
Oh, alright. Well, this is when we get a second gas as well.
Okay.
So in this game, don't worry so much about the scouting. I'll try and do so instead myself. We'll just focus on the strategy instead. I have no idea what's going on outside. Do I live near the dentist? No, I do not live near a dentist. I have no idea what that was. Alright. Let's get an adept out and the... yes, exactly. And then the mothership core next. So that's like if they... Okay, so one sec, right? So basically, if they would go for like a circling timing attack, that adept will finish up in time. If they go for like a really aggressive push, you have that pylon at the low ground as well to photon overcharge. So this is like the standard kind of thing.
Okay, that's cool to know.
But yeah, this is basically your go-to one. All right. So from here on out, so after this early game here, if you put the adept right there in that little like gap, I suppose, or actually the first adept you should try and move across the map to verify that it's got a third base, and then the second adept we make is gonna be the actually for this one. Hold up, whatever I just said, just forget about that. For this one, we'll just try and focus on the build order alone, and I'll just use my scouting information here, I guess, to tell you what's going on. And then afterwards we can jump into some more scouting as well. Let's just focus on the build for now instead. Okay. So what we'll do and what we'll follow this up with after the mothership core, basically as soon as you can, you want to go ahead and put down a robotics facility, and we're gonna chrono boost 3 immortals out. Okay.
Okay.
Robotics facility, 3 immortals. Afterwards, we basically want to continuously making probes until we get 16 in the natural as well, which we got in just a little bit. And then we're basically done making probes. And at that point, you start putting down additional gateways as well. Basically, whenever you get money, that's where you start putting down gateways. And we're going to put down a total of 8 of them.
8, okay.
Okay, yes. So you got 1 already, 7 more gateways. And right when the 3rd immortal finishes, that's when you want to move out. So... after the immortal finishes, that's when you get like a warp prism and an observer to move across the map as well, and we're gonna use that warp prism to warp in from.
Okay.
So robotics facility, chrono boost out 3 immortals, get full saturation in the natural on minerals alone, and we'll put down 7 more gateways, and then we'll push with the warp prism. Does that make sense?
That. It makes sense.
All right, we'll see how it goes. You may be listening to this, so that makes it a little more tricky, but all right.
It's okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
But basically, we try and set ourselves up for a plan. We try and make sure that we have got an idea of what's going on. All right, robotics.
Yeah.
There you go. You can make another adept as well if you like. Or even a stalker to shoot away an overlord or whatever. It's up to you. Well, there he is already. Just for now, though, we can just continue making probes here primarily. Very good. Alright, so just to let you know, normally we would move with the adept, right? His third base is already down. We'll go over the scouting or whatnot after this.
Okay.
Okay, start up the first immortal. That's why you usually want to delay that gateway production for just a little while. Yeah, all good though.
These are some strats I normally wouldn't consider.
Well, there you go. That's why I'm here, right? To basically mix it up. Be a bit annoying. Alright, go ahead and float an overcharge. There you go. Let's put the adepts down to the low ground as well. Or at least, yeah, 2 of them. I'd leave 1 in the gap if you can. Alright, next immortal. Ideally we would try to hide it from him, right? But yeah, it's fine.
If I place it on top of the ramp?
Yeah, usually you want to maybe put down another pylon behind your mineral line in the main, for example, or somewhere in the main base, so it's a little hard to scout. All good though.
The bad thing is an immortal can't walk through there.
Oh, he can just yeah. If it's like in a corner, I can show you in a little bit. If it's like in a corner, it can. Otherwise, it can't. It doesn't need a full square. You're right about that. All right, so let's queue up the third immortal as well, and we can put down a bunch more gates. Exactly. Oh, frozen overcharge. There you go. Very good. And we need 4 more gateways. Let's go ahead and put down 4 more gateways. 1, 2. This is the Protoss counting right here. Alright. You can go ahead and warp in stalkers and whatnot if you need to. So basically just look at his army and be like, hey, what would counter that? If he's going roaches, you can go stalkers. If he's got a lot of Zerglings, you can add on adepts. And let's actually get a warp prism next.
Okay.
So, warp prism, yes, exactly. Go ahead and warp in. We need to warp in as much as we can. I don't know if we got all of the gateways morphed in right now.
Nearly. So
yeah, so in this instance we lost a few of the immortals, which makes it tough. We can work on that positioning and whatnot a little bit longer though. That's fine. So normally we would really want to move across the map right now. So how many gateways do we have here in total? Yeah, we don't have quite enough. We needed 2 more. So if you got 8 gateways, you can produce non-stop out of 2 bases.
my positioning here was very bad.
That's okay. First attempt, it's totally fine. Yeah, at this point it's going to be tough to follow it up. Well, we can of course play macro out of this as well. You're actually still looking in a really good position. I don't know if it's worth to, for coaching's sake, to like continue onwards for like another 10 minutes, because this is going to be a rough one to, you know, help from right now.
I don't think so.
Yeah, you can probably hold on, but it's a little closer than you want it to be. If you like, I could also try and show you it once, because the building positioning and whatnot is pretty important.
It would be great to...
Okay, I'll play one against him. Yeah, it's a little tricky sometimes to, you know, try and execute strategies when you're trying to, like, you know, work on like 10 different things at once. Alright. So you can make a couple variations if you like. It doesn't really matter all too much. But basically, we just want to push with 3 immortals and about 8 gateways across the map as soon as we can. That's basically what it all comes down to.
Okay.
Alright, so usually if you put a pylon right over here, it makes for a bit of an easier wall as well. So if you put it right over there, you can wall up with the cybernetics core as well as the gateway, just like that. You just gotta make sure you power the top of the ramp.
Okay.
Little things like that are really tough to... Oh, actually, I don't need that yet. Little things like that are really tough to, like, explain while talking and playing and everything at once. And usually this would be also the probe to scout with. So if you send that one across, you can figure out roughly what's going on. Just let me know, by the way, if you have any questions, we can always pause.
Okay.
Alright, so right now I'm basically just queuing up probes until I know I've got enough minerals to put down a Nexus. And before his 13-12ing, I mean, we will find that out soon enough. If he's going really quick Zerging speed. Okay, so I'm sending the probe a bit early. Reason for that is just so I can do a little bit more scouting, you know? So basically I know right now there's already a probe in a natural waiting. It's better than to send it early than too late. So this may be a bit of an extreme example, but right now I know exactly what's going on. Gonna be able to send that back home. Gonna put down the Cybercore next. Then we'll put up another pylon here at the front. So basically, with the pylon here at the front as well, I'm also trying to position it so I can create another wall off.
Okay. That's some small things to know.
Yeah, it makes it easier to defend like all that sort of like early game Zerg aggression, you know? Like it's really small, but it helps out basically buy yourself time to get more units out. That's basically what it comes down to. Okay.
By the way, your coaching's great.
Thank you. Appreciate that, man. Thank you very much. Yeah, if you ever have any questions, definitely just let me know, and it's totally fine. I'll try and help out. Okay, so next up, I'm gonna go ahead and get myself the Adept, and I'm also following it up with the Warp Gates as well as the Mothership Core. And basically, right now, I'm just waiting for my guests and my minerals and whatnot to get to a point where I can put down the cybernetics or the what's it called, robotics facility as well. So if I wanted to be really specific, I could build my pylon there a little bit sooner, but I think in this case I'm gonna be alright just like this. So I'm gonna send this Adept across, and basically what I'm looking for is to verify whether or not he's got a third base. If I can do a little bit of damage with it, that's totally fine as well. But I'm primarily just using it right now to figure out exactly what's going on. Nice scout there by him. Now, since he knows exactly what I'm going for, he may actually be capable of holding it. That's one of the downsides of coaching on stream. But right now I know, you know, I see a Roach Warren, I see an Evo Chamber. I know roughly what's up. Okay, so I'm going to start up my first Immortal. I'm going to get another Stalker here as well because I can. And we'll just simply get on out of there. So the next gateways I put down, I'm going to put them at the front here instead. So I'm going to basically create that wall off here first. Well, if he wants to sacrifice an Overlord, I'll take it.
So an overcharge for an Overlord is okay.
Yeah, I actually am not sure. Maybe that's not the best way to do it, but... I know it's really annoying when I play Zerg, when I play 3 bases, so maybe it's not the best option. Maybe I should have just waited here, but... Okay. Gonna put down another pylon here as well, or another gateway here as well. Another pylon right there. So basically I'm creating like a second wall here at the front. Okay, so I got 3 gateways down right now. I'm gonna need a few more. That would make 6. Actually, I got a bit too many probes here, but that's alright as well. And that will be 8 gates. Okay, going for another Immortal. Maybe I should power this with one more pylon. I mean, my SimCity, like little things like my building placement here in the natural, it's not perfect. But yeah, that's just something I still need to work on when I play Protoss as well. But basically, I'm trying to make sure here that I can always photon overcharge at the front if I need to, you know? If he decides to push here, I'm gonna be just fine. So already I'm queuing up, by the way, the robotics and or the other units.
Okay. That's a good thing to know.
Okay. And this is the point that I already want to move out at. So my gateways are mostly done. I don't know. I can, you know, basically judging about what I see, I know he's got a Roach Warren at the front. I'm assuming he's going to have some Roaches. So I'll do like a mix of like Stalkers and Adepts as well. So this is the point that I'm moving out at. Now, if I wanted to be really safe, I can also, you know, wall in at the front fully. So right now I know I don't really have to worry about counterattacks anymore. And since my Warp Prism and my Observer are going to fly anyway, I know I'm going to be able to get there pretty safely. Basically, you notice like how I'm going to be capable of keeping my money low right now. Just by putting down pylons. And even though I'm flooding a bit right now, I know that for a fact I've got 8 gateways done. So I can simply do a really big warp in right here if I want to. You know, I'm just basically making whatever. Okay. And I'm just sort of putting that unit close to where the rest of my opponents, you know, bases and whatnot are.
So why are you attacking the third base first?
I know if I take this one out, I'm probably going to be in a really good position economically speaking. Because if I can even up the economy, I'm going to be, you know, in a pretty happy spot. But I could go for the natural too.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not really trying to micro here very heavily. Just to sort of show you that I can just simply mostly push here. I mean, I don't really need to worry too much. Alright, don't want to lose that.
Yeah, your army is really powerful.
But the thing is, I didn't do anything super special, you know? I'm not like microing here very aggressively. I'm not doing anything super special. I'm just warping in stuff. I can put down some force fields. I can put down some units like that. But there's really no way he's going to be able to stop this. You can definitely execute this build. Like, you can definitely execute this build all the way up to Master League if you want to.
Okay.
So, I mean, this is just an example, right? I mean, I don't expect you to, like, be able to do this perfectly within a couple of minutes or whatever. But, I mean, I didn't do anything super special. Plus, my opponent knew exactly what I was going for. And yet, it still did more damage than he could could handle with, right? And you know, comparatively speaking, you were pretty close to the execution as well. It's just going to take, like, a couple more attempts in, well, maybe couple being, I don't know, 10, 20 or so. But if you just grind it out in customs for a little while and get this build down, you can at least use it to climb the ladder, but also like to transition from. So say for example, I don't kill him with this immortal play. I can go for a third base. If I notice, hey, he's scouting it really well, I could always follow it up with like a third base and for example Colossus play. I can do a lot of different things as a result out of this as well, right? So we don't necessarily need to go specifically for this push. It's more or less like a basis to like branch off of, if that makes any sense. Does that make any sense? I mean, I'm blabbering,
yeah.
but...
It makes sense.
Cool. Alright.
So...
let's give it a try. Let's give it a try. See if we can do it.
Okay.
Mr. Daratrix, by the way, thank you very much for the 10-month resub just now. Appreciate it, sir. Thank you for the continued support. Alright, let's just give it our best effort and we'll go from there. So far, Grandmaster League. Easy. I mean, this is perfect early game. Perfect first 3 buildings. This is like, by the way, the same opener as well, like the first couple of buildings for Zerg, for Protoss versus Terran. You can go for a quick expansion like that versus Terran too.
Okay. Versus Terran, I scout very much, so I can see if I can go aggressive or...
Mm-hmm. Right, Cybercore? Yep. And then a pylon at the front again. So these like first like 5 buildings or so is it may seem random, but it's well thought out at the pro level, you know. So it's it's a good idea. I feel like Protoss is probably the most like build order focused kind of race. Not necessarily like build order, but like timing attack kind of race. Okay, let's go second gas. Yeah, so actually, if you put down the pylon right there at this timing, you're gonna be able to put down the immortals right there, right? And that's almost impossible for Zerg to scout. Ooh, well, I would go for the Stalker and, or sorry, for the Adept and the Mothership Core first, but if you want to play really greedy, that works.
Nice to know.
Yeah, this would be risky if your opponent is going for like early game pressure, you know. Now, we sort of also know what Zerg is going for here. But on the ladder, I would definitely get Mothership Core first. You can get it right now, though. Yeah, there you go. Why do they claim Protoss is the weakest race right now? We can talk about that in a little bit as well after the coaching. That's only true at like the highest level of play, though. There you go. So that may seem weird, right? To move with your first adept. It feels really strange.
Yeah.
He feels like he's going out into a scary world with Zerg. I mean, it's fine. If he dies, it's alright. We gotta back up. Alright, let's start up the Immortal. I would hotkey the robotics facility if I were you, by the way. It's probably a good idea as well to put down the gateways in pairs, I guess. So in pairs of 2. Okay. Yeah, it's fine right now, but just in general. I usually try and put down at least 2 at once. It's easier to count. That's about the main reason. Alright, so just try and verify that he's got a 3rd base, and then just go home again with that thing. So in this map, there's 2 3rd bases. I don't know which one he's taken, but usually it's this one. Alright, let's get the 2nd Immortal. Yep, very good. So try and rally the... Okay, so it's not there. So maybe check the other one. Try and rally the Immortal so if an Overlord flies in, he can't see it.
Okay.
So ideally we try and hide that, because that's a big information right there for Zerg. And definitely Chrono Boost. Okay, yeah, there you go. Definitely Chrono Boosted.
I just thought about it.
No worries, no worries. Okay, nice. Actually, oh no, there's no 3rd base. All right, so this could be a couple of things, right? So notice how you scouted with the first adept, right? And you don't see anything right now at his 3rd bases. What are you putting him off? What are you putting him on right now?
Roach Revenger.
All right, cool. We can jump into the replay and see later if it's right. All right. Let's queue up the 3rd Immortal. Ooh, did we hit a supply block? Ooh, sorry, I did not catch that myself. So that kind of shuts down a lot of this build. Because, like, basically we really rely on pushing early. So if, like, you know, we don't have enough, you know, if we push, like, 30 seconds later because of a supply block, it's a big deal, right?
Yeah, it's my bad.
No worries.
I didn't realize it.
No problem. We just have to do 1 extra warp in with gateways. But yeah, just recognize, hey, every single time you delay the build, it gives Zerg a better chance of holding it as well. He's trying to win the mental game. Don't give it. Yes. All right.
Nice.
All right, let's get a couple of pylons and queue up the warp prism. Yes, there you go. Let's get a couple of pylons. Yeah. The firstborn shall persevere. Yeah, so this hurts quite a bit too, because now the warp prism is gonna be a bit later. You know what I mean? So little things like that. I mean, that's just honestly a matter of practice, though. You can try this build 100 times and, like, you know, perfect it, and then go on the ladder if you really wanted to. You would be in a great position. I think I moved around, like, I moved across the map, I think, at 5 minutes-ish. 5 minutes, 20 seconds, maybe. So you can see, like, it adds up pretty quickly, little supply blocks and whatnot like that. It's alright, though. I'm just pointing it out. Alright, let's get everything together and let's move in. Yeah. Do 1 more big warp in and then we'll go. Okay, let's go. Is that a fake 3rd or are we going for a 3rd?
I think going for a 3rd would be nice now.
Alright. I would always try and move across the map and bring the mothership core, because you can just mass recoil if you notice, hey, there's too much. So I think with perfect execution with this build, you can do or you can win every single time. But if you notice, hey, he's got way too much stuff, there's not a chance because I'm kind of late because of the supply blocks and whatnot. You know, just recognize it early, and that will take a couple of attempts, and you may lose a couple of games where you overstay your welcome. But I mean, that's just you know, part of the game. It's just part of learning, I guess.
Yeah, I think so too.
Ooh, be careful for the war prism. Oof. Oof. You can actually take it. You can actually take the fight, I think, with some force. Well, it's a lot of Zerg.
Yeah, I don't think I can take the fight.
Alright, let's have to mass recall. Definitely, we can go over hotkeying of army in a little bit.
My mineral spending wasn't very good at that moment.
Nope, that's okay. I feel like that's something we can fix with hotkeying the army a little differently.
Yeah, my hotkeys are very bad now.
It's okay. That's just a matter of practice. Everything's just a matter of practice, I guess.
I hope so.
You can recall by clicking on the minimap, yes. Can you recall by clicking on a nexus? I guess so. I've never done that. I'm pretty sure I always recall with the minimap. I guess better would be to hit like camera hotkeys or something, I don't know.
Oh my.
That's a lot of Zerg.
Yeah, don't think I can hold that.
Alright, well, I can tell you the reason why. He, remember when you scouted for the third?
Yeah.
He took the gold.
Oh.
It's just one of those things that is, you know, you recognized it, you saw it early, you just didn't check for the gold base. I mean, I could have given you the information there, but it wouldn't be fair.
Yeah. But it was Road Revenger.
You were right, yes. Yeah, he went hatch. He went hatch, gas, pool, hatch at the gold. So he went really quickly for a gold. Good morning, Rush Ichiro. Rushel. Rush Ichiru. Rush Ichiru. I don't know. I never know. I always derp out. Alright, so let's have a quick look at what the minor improvements were right there. So if you, by the way, ever like needed like a point of reference or whatever, just check out the game, I guess, that I just played against him. That should be showing up in your replays as well.
Okay.
Yeah, let me show you real quick. So he played rather greedy that game. But that's the kind of thing you should ask yourself, you know, like, hey, if he's not taking a third base at both of the locations, maybe I should start looking out somewhere else. And that's the kind of thing that you kind of need versus Berserk if you notice, hey, you're losing a lot of games early on. Basically, they've got a ton of different tricks, I guess, and gold bases are one of them. Yeah, so look at that. That's the gold. So, you get across the map. Right about right here, right? That's when you move the adept.
Yeah.
And on this particular map, I mean, there's a gold base. And when you scouted both of the third bases here, you should have probably had a quick peek up there and see what's going on. So I paused as well just to, you know, pick your mind and see what you thought he would be going for here. Yeah, so at this point, like, you can see income-wise, he's just got a lot of stuff. It's funny, though, because income-wise, it's not like he's really that far ahead. He's just got gold, you know? So, like, if you see, like, right now, the Harvest account, it's 48 versus 45. I mean, you got a solid amount of workers. We just sort of... I guess you got a little behind because of the supply blocks here, primarily, to be honest. Even with a gold, you probably could have done a pretty good job at defending that, too. But, yeah. So... basically, we move out about, I would say, almost 2 minutes later than you ideally want to. I don't know exactly at what point I moved out in the game that I played.
I think it was at 5 minutes.
Yeah,
6 minutes.
Yeah, I think it's like 5 minutes 20 or so, something like that. Yeah, it adds up, you know, it adds up. So basically, the more time you give Zerg, the more, you know, time they have to like get more roaches and ravagers. And you basically want to push like as early as you can.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically the entire like setup of like this super early like first 5 buildings or so is just so you can always make probes while still building up more economy. That's most of the Protoss builds, to be honest. Like, you always try and make all of the workers first before anything else.
I don't know if you know Naniwa.
Uh-huh.
He was one of the first guys I've executed a build from, so...
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
He did some crazy builds as well. really solid so far. Just put down the cyber.
There.
And then a pylon at the front.
Oh yeah, I nearly forgot that.
No worries. Yeah, Naniwa. It's always been an interesting story of Naniwa. He got booed out of a stage or off of a stage at some point in StarCraft 2. I don't know exactly what the specifics were anymore. It was fun to watch though. Apparently he's a dad now.
I think he's still streaming, but
I haven't seen him in a long time.
yeah.
Alright, let's saturate the second gas.
Oh,
And let's go for the robotics as soon as we can.
no one saw that?
Nobody saw that. I didn't see a thing. I just randomly set it. Nah, I believe he like thumbs down an audience or whatever, and the audience was like, alright, boo, get off. And then he rage quit the tournament or something. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. I'm probably missing some specifics, but it's pretty much what it came down to. Okay, so let's get the first immortal started. Yep, that works too. Oh. Yeah, so the warrior at the top of the ramp is a little funny. There's 2 holes, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's okay. Once upon a time, you'll lose a game and you'll feel bad for the wall off, and you'll never do it wrong again.
I think you need to make some mistakes to
yes.
do them again.
Oh yes, StarCraft 2 is all about making as many mistakes as you can and then like trying to fix it. That's the funny thing about the game though, like even at the professional level of play, I don't know if this is... I think there may not be room here for Immortals to leave, but... Like even at like the highest level of play, you can still see the players make mistakes all the time. That's kind of what makes the game so good. I think the one gateway at the top in the natural, you probably want to cancel that one, to be honest. I don't know if an Immortal can fit through.
Okay.
I mean...
I can try, but...
That's, yeah, there we go, that's better. Alright, no third base. What are we looking for?
Was he up there? Yeah, he was. I think so. I think he's going for Root Revenger again.
Alright, could be.
But this time I won't build some adepts.
Let's get some immortals. One more immortal. We're kind of running high on minerals. That's okay. Let's go ahead and queue up a bunch more pylons.
Where are my props here?
There you go. Oh, well, you found a base.
Yeah.
Well, you can easily take that one out.
Oh, wait, there are...
Let's just wait for your third immortal to come out, do a big warp in, and just push straight up there. We don't need the warp prism for this. Just make the warp prism, of course, but like we can push earlier than that.
Okay.
Okay, let's warp in stuff. There we go. And let's get some more pylons as well, just in case. But let's go, let's go. That base is way too far out in the open. Very good. Let's get the warp prism as well. And just send that one across if you can. Like, try and send it towards his natural instead. Very good. Let's warp in. We can warp in the natural. Very good. Okay, so the War Prism is going across. Try and not pull that one with the all army hotkey. Try and leave that one. Very good. Try and leave that one flying, okay?
Okay.
And just follow it down with your immortals and your rest of your army right now. Just move towards his, like the middle of the map or so. I think that's a good spot. With that thing as well, yes. So just start warping in from the War Prism soon after. Yes, last one for here. Cool. Get a couple of pylons, and then we warp in from that thing. Very good. Alright. Let's continue pressuring.
It's a new playstyle, but it feels good.
That's good. That's nice. Alright, big warp in. We can go. Nice. Well caught. And let's move up the ramp. There's a bit of a risky ramp though. Maybe the other ramp. Yeah. Maybe the other one to the right. Yeah, that one. Yeah. Don't over micro either. That's a big big risk.
Okay. Wait.
Okay. Continue warping and stuff if you can.
Yeah, some seconds to the next warp.
Alright, we can always wait though. We can always go back, right? Considering you just killed his third base, you can always just simply go ahead and transition from here. So let's just go ahead and actually head back. Just for example's sake, I think it's not a bad idea.
Yeah, we've got our third Nexus. So.
Exactly. So a good follow-up would be to go ahead and get the robotics bay as well. And maybe a second robotics facility. So one robotics bay, one robotics facility, and we'll start going Colossi.
New subscriber detected.
Greek Tarson, thank you for the 5 months.
Love from Sweden, less than 3.
So, no like High Templar or something else?
Let's just take a Colossi first. I think that's probably better for now.
Okay.
Oh. Well, that one's dead. Alright, and just keep warping in though. Just make sure to hotkey the robotics, both of them. The other one's a little further up. There, that one. That one.
That one.
That one.
My bad.
No worries. And this is also a good moment to maybe get a couple of sentries, for example, if you want to save up some energy, because this is more likely a point where he's going to sit back for a little while too. Or if he's not, you know, you can save up some force fields. Alright, so we can almost start producing Colossi, so maybe save up some resources here so we can get those out. Yep, there we go. And you can chrono boost those out as well. Definitely make sure though to get extended thermal lines in the robotics bay. That one, yes, very good.
And get some forges out.
Very good. So notice like how we can still pressure and go into a third base. I mean, from here on out, it's gonna be a little more tricky, right? But yeah. Let's get double Colossi going. We can get one more Colossus started.
Oh, wait.
There we go. Alright, and let's get some more stuff. Yeah, just basically get a lot of Protoss. And continuously keep on producing Colossi, by the way. I would definitely continue producing Colossi. There we go. Good spending here.
I think macro is one of the things I can play.
That's good. Alright, let's keep warping in as well, though. Well, I don't know if you want to go for a fort base just yet, to be honest. I would be a little bit hesitant for that.
Okay.
You probably want to get at least like one maxed out army or so right now, I think. Just in case.
Glory to the Daylon.
Okay. I'd be more careful. I'd be a little careful of like, you know, getting another big base right now. Oh well, if he wants to fight. Photon overcharges? Yeah, very good. Attack move. Ooh, yeah, be careful. You have sentries. You can force field here if you like. Ooh.
Not good.
Oh, he's got a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like another thing that you probably want to work on is definitely hotkeying. Well, yeah, I think this is gonna be GG. But this was a really well played game, though. I mean, you can clearly see like it's very efficient. It's just takes a little bit more practice. I would say have one hotkey for your main army, then a separate one for the mothership core, and a separate one for the war prism. I think you're mostly like controlling everything with the all army hotkey right now. I think.
Yeah.
It may be worthwhile to like unbind it for a little while, and that may be a little annoying initially. But if you feel like you want to give it a try, if you unbind the all army hotkey and you force yourself to hotkey everything like, you know, on separate hotkeys instead, it probably makes it much, you know, better over time.
Okay.
Cause
I'll try that out.
yeah, because right now, for example, like going for force fields and photon overcharges is kind of funny, right? Because you have the you know, the Colossus, or rather the sentries and the mothership core on the same hotkey, right? I feel like it definitely slows you down a bunch. So I feel like one hotkey for your army at least, then one hotkey separately for the mothership core and a separate one for the war prism should make it way easier already. But that's gonna take a bit of practice, and it's just gonna be, you know,
It's
mostly
an
that's
improvement
time,
over
I guess.
time.
Yeah, exactly. It's like improvement over time, pretty much. Anyway, sir, if you ever have any questions, just let me know on Skype,
Yeah,
and I'll
will.
try and help you out as soon as I can.
Yeah, thank you for the coaching.
No worries at all. If you've got like a replay you want me to check out or whatever, just let me know as well, and I'll check it out as soon as I can.
Okay.
And other than that, would you be okay if I upload it to YouTube, by the way?
Yeah, it's okay.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you very much. I'll let you know when it's up. And other than that, hope to talk to you next month, dude.